Well, hi. Well, we made many, many kinds of meatloaf, but there's thousands of different ways of making meatloaf. We just close this drawer. And this is called the Easy Easy Meatloaf, folks. It's delicious, it's yummy, and you make it, sometimes I use tomato soup, but not this time. We're going to make it a different way that I actually discovered this recipe. Now, what I want to do is I want to cut an onion. It's going to be a fantastic meal. I'm going to serve it with mashed potatoes and cream corn. It's going to be a really delicious meal. It's just an easy style meatloaf to make. And it's really wonderful to make on a cold winter day. Because we have ice back there, we have snow, Okay. I'm going to chop up this, dice this onion up. I like to use sweet onions, folks. It's delicious. It'll give the meatloaf a really good taste. It's going to be a different kind of meatloaf, folks, that I made. Just a little bit different. Keep dicing. Okay, now, you use chop meat, folks. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to put the onions right into the chop meat, folks. Now, the next thing I want to do, I want to season this. You don't want to have a meatloaf that's blah. Nothing worse than blah meatloaf. Okay. This is going to be a fantastic meatloaf sandwich tomorrow as well. Garlic powder. Just put a couple sprinkles of garlic powder, and I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. Use Italian breadcrumbs. About 1.5 cups. Now, I'm also going to add in a cup of milk. You have to use whole milk on this. This is how it's going to make it taste really good. You want to keep the meatloaf moist. Here we go. Now, what I want to do now is I'm going to mix this together and form a loaf out of this. The milk, what the milk is doing, folks, is keep this in mind. It's going to keep the meatloaf very, very moist. You can almost hear it like a sponge. Yeah, you can make meatloaf, folks, many different directions, folks. Now, let me just wash my hands. I got one more thing to put in here. We had 14-degree weather this morning, folks. It was so cold and nippy this morning. A little bit of salt. And one more thing to add in is my egg. Now that everything is mixed together, I added my egg. Like I said, this is a little bit different, folks. I have a habit of forgetting my eggs, and for some reason I end up with fantastic food after. Look how moist this is. You want a nice, moist meatloaf. Now I want to add in a little bit more breadcrumbs. My hands are so cold, folks. But always use Italian breadcrumbs, folks. They taste a lot better. A lot of meals you can use plain, but not this one. All right, now we're going to keep mixing this together. Okay, now we're going to grab this, put it into the loaf pan. Not a loaf pan, but a regular pan. Look how solid this is staying, folks. Now, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to put the topping on, folks, and it's going to be delicious. We're going to add in ketchup. Here we go. I would recommend a lot of ketchup because it's going to go right on the top. Now, the next thing I want to grab is some brown sugar. I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. 1, 2, brown sugar. Okay. Mix this together. You can use a knife, you can use anything. Just mix this together. Now, the next thing is going to be a little bit of honey barbecue sauce. About 2 tablespoons of honey barbecue sauce. Mix this together. Now, what we're going to do now, folks, is we are going to put this on top of the loaf. Look how nice this is going to come along. It's going to take about an hour to bake this, folks. Okay. See how nice this looks, folks? A little bit more honey barbecue sauce on the top. I really cannot wait to have this for dinner tonight. This looks so delicious. We have this little piece here. And put it on the top. Now, the next thing I need to do is grab, I'm going to put some water in here, folks. I want to pop this into my oven, and I would say bake this for at least an hour to an hour and a half, and we'll be back with a fantastic meal. And here we have an easy bake meatloaf. Meatloaf is made many different directions. You can make a meatloaf the way I sometimes make mom's meatloaf, where I, use tomato sauce, but this is made a lot differently. I use it with mashed potatoes. Here we go. Now I'm going to get another spoon for the white corn. I don't want to accidentally. There we go. And it goes great with corn. It's a fantastic meal, and like I was saying, meatloaf can come in many, 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 many different styles, folks. It's just, I'm going to try different kind of meatloaf the next couple of weeks. But this one really, I found this recipe, I said, I've got to have it. And here we go. Easy bake meatloaf from Debbie Wade's Home Country Kitchen. Have a great day. Please subscribe to my wonderful YouTube channel.